time for the 105 stock exchange, stock market, as we like to call it. We used to do this at Preps to Pros, and I really liked this. And this was kind of like when all the GameStop stuff was happening, and people were like, everybody was on Robinhood and investing in Dogecoin and all that type of stuff. That's kind of what's happened here with the 105 stock exchange. So let me break it down. We have 3 stocks that we're going to get into. We have the blue chip stock, which the way that we've set this up, you can only select a player from the 2nd to 4th round of where we see that player. You cannot choose a 5-star. And this is a guy that I explained to you, like confidence meter over 8 out of 10. You feel like this guy's going to be a dude at the next level. We also have the wild card stock. That's a day 3, 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round guy that's pretty much boom or bust. That's the best way to put it. And then we have the penny stock. The penny stock, no disrespect to anybody, but if you're in day 3, it's kind of like, you know what? Nobody's talking about this guy. I'll put some money down and I'll make some more money in the future as well. But Drew, let's start with the blue chip stock, and I'll give you the T box with your first 2 picks here. Who do you like with your blue chip stock?
Well, Coop, we've been watching a ton of tape, right, the past few weeks. We're trying to watch more tape here before the rankings come out next week. I'm going with LSU running back Harlem Berry. Having watched all of the blue chip running backs, all the guys at the top of the board, I think he is clear-cut number 1. And you think about LSU, that offense, they're going to pair him with Bryce Underwood and Caden Durham, who is having a ton of success as a true freshman. Coop, he reminds me of Shady McCoy. He's explosive, 4.37 in the 40-yard dash, but how he's able to string cuts together without having to gear down, naturally low center of gravity. I think he has been awesome this season. This is a guy that's been a little bit in the 5-star conversation. I think he's someone that can get on the field there early. He's going to create some highlight reel plays in a Tigers uniform. And again, pairing him with Caden Durham, who is another elusive running back at that 2nd level. I'm all in on the next Shady McCoy, Harlem Berry.
You know why I'm in on Harlem Berry? Because my mom was his first grade teacher. That's what's up. Holy name of Jesus, man. Elementary school. Shout out. He's at St. Martin's playing a very low level of competition there in New Orleans, Louisiana. But he's a dude. I mean, we saw him at Future 50 2 years ago. You mentioned the 4.37 that he peeled off. Also, a very impressive track and field resume as well. Love that pick. One of the best running backs in the country. Now, I want you to stick your chest out on this one because I know you love this guy. Hayden Low, USC, your 2nd blue chip stock. Talk to me nice, Drew.
I'm all in on Hayden Low. Like you said, I think when we look at the edge rusher class nationally, Hayden Low put on the senior tape, what he's doing out there in California. Love this guy. 30 tackles, 5 sacks, 6 quarterback hurries. You're going to see him sumo-plex a quarterback here. This guy is a menace off the edge. We list him as the defensive lineman. We are moving him over to edge. 6'5", 245 pounds, 81.5-inch wingspan. Cooper, he can bend while attack. And he finishes with authority, like I just said, owns gap closing burst. And I think what also stands out when you kind of go play by play is that motor, his ability to flush out pockets. He is a high effort individual committed to USC right now. Greg Biggins of 24/7 Sports, I believe he's reporting, Oregon sniffing around, Miami sniffing around. He's a name we're going to be talking about a lot here as we approach signing day.
It's funny. He plays in a even front. He's a 5 technique. He's got that big old elbow, kind of Rob Gronkowski, Kayvon Thibodeau band, whatever you would want to call it. And Kayvon Thibodeau's the name. He played at the same high school coming out of California there. Yeah, and they're similar. I don't want to get carried away. Thibodeau was obviously an All-American top 5 pick, but there's a little bit of stiffness, but there's so much explosion that they play with, the speed to power. You can see the similarities there. Hayden Low, definitely a guy stock up right now. Love those 2 picks. All right, Drew, for me, how about cornerback Kade Phillips at LSU? This is a guy that we like a lot, a member of Andrew Ivins' freak list as well. And you might ask, why is he on Drew's freaks list? Well, he ran 21.5 in the 200 meter. He was also 24.4 in the long jump, which is just absolutely insane. He's got 2-way snaps. He's got 3 INTs through 4 games played this season. Drew, he is a silky, smooth mover. He is athletic. He checks boxes. But I'll tell you this, man, the football instincts In man-to-man coverage, he is sticky, but I like him playing downhill too, and he's a really good open field tackler. This kid is a ball player. I'm all about Kade Phillips.
Big fan as well, Cooper. And I think his wide receiver tape is kind of exciting as well. I'm not campaigning for Kade Phillips to play offense, but he has made some grabs here as a senior where it's like, whoa, all right, I haven't even seen some of our top 2, 4, 7 wide receivers come down with a grab like that. You said he's smooth. I think he's still got a ways to go, and that is a good thing, right? I think once he gets in there with Corey Raymond, they polish him up. There's more to unlock. It is the year of the long corner, right? I mean, think about all these guys. Dijon Lee headed to Alabama. Obviously, you have Devin Sanchez headed to Ohio State. If you're looking for a height, weight, speed, long perimeter player, this is the cycle to find them. Kade Phillips, like that one a lot, Cooper.
The more we study Brian Kelly's class here at LSU, the more we're like, oh, these guys are a lot better than we thought they were. Kade Phillips, Harlem Berry, you go down the list. All these guys having elite senior seasons, not to mention the guy at the top of the board and Bryce Underwood as well. All right, my next pick, Drew, Nick Townsend, tight end, Texas. I wish he wasn't playing tight end. I wish he was an edge. I wish he was an off-ball backer. I don't care. I love the kid. This is a guy that I'm so confident in. He plays wildcat quarterback. He lines up at running back. He lines up at receiver. Like I said, you can rush him off the edge. You can use him as an off-ball linebacker. He ran 10.92 at a reported 220 pounds. This dude can roll. On top of that, he is a football player. I think some people probably think about Jatavian Sanders when he came out of Denton Ryan. He was a two-way guy playing at a really high level. The way this guy plays, Drew, he is a proactive football player. Like, and football player is how you would describe Nick Townsend. The cool part about that is he's an elite level athlete. So you attach all those type of traits to a kid like Townsend. I get super excited about him. I can understand why Sarkisian and gang want him on offense. He is a dynamic guy with the ball in his hands. There's a couple times where he catches the ball in the deep third and he's able to create separation from opposing defensive backs at that size. That is incredibly impressive. Love this kid. Love Nick Townsend. Can't get enough.
And Sark is just like, you can pair him with Michael Terry. The other thought that comes to mind, the Lone Star State just loaded up with these like jumbo skill players. You also got Keody Armstrong headed to Texas A&M. I think these H-back move tight ends are only going to be more and more in. We're seeing it on Sundays, more NFL teams trying to run out of 2 tight end sets, right? Load that box, pass out of it as well. I like that one as well, Cooper.
All right, there you have it for our blue chip stocks. A little LSU flavor, little USC, little Texas. No surprises there. Now time for our wild card stock. Just a reminder, 4th round, day 3, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. This is kind of where those guys live. Drew, I'll let you have the honors here. And you know what? I almost penalize you because this is dangerously close to a blue chip stock.
Yeah, well, I'm cheating here, and I don't really care. We need to get this out on the airwaves. Arizona wide receiver commit Terry Shelton. I think this guy is the next T-Mac. He is awesome. Another large wide receiver, over 6'4", 3-sport athlete. His senior tape is one of the best watches I have seen out there. Ball skills, his ability to attack, leverage, 25 catches, 537 yards, 8 touchdowns through 6 games. He's got a big web, Cooper. He's evasive after he hauls in the prize, which is a bit surprising, kind of given his long limbs. T-Mac is off to the NFL after this season. I think Terry Shelton is the guy that's going to step in right away and be another wide receiver 1. He has that juice. I'm a big fan of him. I know you like him. He's really good. 50-50 contested catches. Headed to Arizona, right? So a lot of people are probably like, whoa, Arizona. Well, they got a good one in T-Mac. They got another good one coming here in Terry Shelton. And they also have some other receivers committed that we like as well. Isaiah Mizell there in Orlando, right in my backyard. Really good receiver class for Arizona.
I think if you're an Arizona fan, you're just praying to God that Steve Sarkisian or anybody from the Texas recruiting staff does not listen or watch the 105 because they're aware of Terry Shelton. We know that. But Terry Shelton, what he's put on tape as a senior, I think we liked him. I think he was more in that Wildcat category. Now he's shifting his way into, all right, this guy might be a pretty sure thing at the next level. Love that pick. This pick I know you're going to love. Kamario Taylor, right? It's not all bad for Mississippi State. The quarterback in the top 247 from Mississippi committed to the Bulldogs. Kamario has been one of the more polarizing evaluations throughout this entire process. I started conservative with him in my region. I think we started around at 88. We saw him at lead 11 out there in LA. I don't know if we moved him up, but obviously somewhere across the way, we put him in the top 247. Drew, the arm talent is there. There is no ands, ifs, or buts when it comes to what type of physical capability Kamario Taylor possesses. It is the consistency and what the development and the trajectory looks like. And Kamario is one of those guys, I think we talked about it recently, but on day 3 on the 7-on-7 portion out in LA, where you really just go out and you play football and you're not thinking and you're not going through all these drills that a lot of these guys have been coached up their entire life. That is not Kamario Taylor. It's where Kamario Taylor played his best ball, Drew. He's 3-2 right now. He's coming off a 190-yard rushing game. He threw for 160 as well. He's going to take a little time. He's going to be a slower burn. I'm okay with that. There are some things that he does. I'm going to say it and reserve judgment here, but the way that he moves and the way that he plays, he's an unorthodox guy. He likes to play off schedule. Some Cam Ward stuff there, right? And remember, Cam Ward started his career in Incarnate Word and went to Wazoo and is now this polished product that is now at Miami because he's played a lot of football. I don't know what Kamario Taylor's path looks like, but wow, is he a really exciting player that just makes you kind of scratching your head a little bit when you're done watching him and just wondering, like, if this dude ever puts it together, the sky is the limit.
Coop, you said he's, really good off platform, off schedule. I think when I watch his early on senior stuff, what stood out to me is like, okay, this guy is playing in a structured environment. I didn't know he had the capability to take a 3-5 step drop and throw the football to where it needs to be. I thought that shined because we know he's a good athlete. You said it, over 500 rushing yards for the season. I mean, he is a guy that was on the freaks list. You see him at Anthony Richardson. He's this big, muscled up individual. To me, that's where he is really taking a step forward. I think the other thing, 57 completion percentage here as a senior. I think if you're scouting the box score, you're like, that's not high. The game tape to me tells a different story. Like, he is not playing with elite wide receivers. There's a lot of catches where it's hitting guys in the hands. Like, I'm not too concerned about that number, having actually dug into the tapes. To me, Cooper, committed to Mississippi State right now. When that coaching carousel spins, new coaches in new places, he is one where it's like, all right, who's going to take a swing at Kamario Taylor?
I'm going to have to get a fact check because we got Tom's comment pulled up here on the screen and says, Kamario Taylor is Cam Ward. There it is from Cooper Patagna. That is not what I said. And I think we know that. If you're listening out there on the airwaves, that is not what I said. Need a quick fact check there. All right, now time for the penny stock, Drew. I don't know about you. Every time this comes to mind, I think about like Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street. He's walking in there and he's got to sell penny stocks. This one, I love this category because this is someone deeply buried kind of in round 6 or round 7 where you're like, yeah, we put him in there, but we don't really know. Dylan Robinson, for me, committed to Washington out there in California, ran 10.9. He popped a 4.49 as well. I watched his workout over the spring at Under Armour LA. The kid is raw. I don't know whether or not he's going to be a corner or safety, whether or not he's going to be a receiver. I think he's the most natural on offense, but this is a big joker at over 6'3", who's going to play over 200 pounds that can roll, and he is a dynamic kid. I'm super excited about Jed Fish, what they're building over there, Drew. You can make a pretty good argument they should be undefeated. He came in with high expectations. He wanted the highest ranked recruiting class in Washington history. As a guy that worked at Washington, as a guy that helped Washington achieve the highest ranked recruiting class in program history, I hope he does it, and I think he's trending that way, and I think he will do it. Guys like Dylan Robinson are going to help Washington get over the edge. I love this kid. Super intrigued with this kid.
Cool. I'm glad you want them to top your recruiting class. What was it last year? 6 top 100 draft picks for Washington. I got that number right. 6 on that.
Something light.
Something light. Okay. My penny stock, I'm going to go with another quarterback here. Ty Hawkins, SMU commit. Cooper, I don't know where he's going to finish in the rankings for us, right? We are trying to project towards Sundays. Ty Hawkins is not the biggest individual, but man, what he has done at IMG Academy here this season, both with his arm and his legs. He came into his senior year after leaving the state of Texas, having rushed for close to 2,000 yards. He's already got 236 on the ground. I just love his ability to run the RPOs, and where he has really improved is as a passer. He finished his junior season, Cooper, the last game as an 11th grader. He threw 6 interceptions in one half of football. I've asked Ty Hawkins about this. I'm like, how did this happen? And he's like, he doesn't really have an answer, but he has kind of shut me up here through the first half of the year. IMG Academies, their schedule's kind of all messed up with the recent hurricanes. He's completed 66.2% of his passes, 766 yards. More importantly, Cooper, 9 touchdowns, 0 INTs. SMU has a dude right now in Kevin Jennings at quarterback. He can throw it around the yard. He can run as well. Just wait for Ty Hawkins there. Reminds me of his future position coach, De'Aaron King, who is on staff there.
I thought about Rhett Lashley, and I thought about, like, hey, if North Carolina opened up, or hey, one of these jobs opened up, maybe in a Power 4. If I'm Rhett Lashley, I'm not really, outside of the jobs that are just abundantly clear where you're going to take a step up in the food chain. There is no reason to leave SMU, especially with the money that they're throwing around from an NIL standpoint. Those people want to win, and he's in a really good spot. And you look at all these teams that struggled in the Big 12 last year. That has not been the case with SMU and the ACC coming off a really nice win against Louisville. SMU, man. I mean, I think we said it, right? Like if you were looking at Baylor, Dave Aranda, Texas Tech, Joey McGuire, Sonny Dykes at TCU, SMU outside of Texas and Texas A&M, like who's going to be the best recruiting program over the next 5 years in that third spot? I think you'd have to put your money on SMU. Is that fair?
I mean, that's a great point. And I think that what also stands out about them is they do kind of recruit not just locally, right? What we've seen them in California, they'll hand out offers in Florida. I mean, they do emphasize that Dallas metro and the surrounding areas, but they are recruiting like they are a national brand.